go ahead, put it in sport mode, brake torque it just a little bit, drop the brake, and we go. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the all-new 2025 Kia K4, the Forte replacement. This is the GT line with premium package and the base 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. And my question that I want answered in this video is, does this $28,000 compact sedan, as this one is equipped, have enough to sway you away from segment leaders like Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla? And as Kia suggests, is it good enough to sway you away from larger mid-size competitors like Toyota Camry? All that and more, including a 0 to 60 acceleration test. Stay tuned. Yes, gearheads, the first thing I want to do is thank Kia for flying me out here to Austin, Texas to sample this new GT line premium package, because as of this recording, these have just started hitting dealer lots. The vehicle has been around since October in its base trims, but this is the premium trim with that GT line logo and all the amenities that come with it. I did mention this has the base naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder under the hood, which is something that's kind of interesting to me in a vehicle with the GT letters affixed to it. GT line in Kia speak has always been a little bit of an appearance package, and that absolutely applies here because you can get it in 2 flavors. You can get this base naturally aspirated 2-liter, making 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque, or you can get the GT line turbo with the 1.6 turbo that we will be sampling later. This particular engine is mated to a continuously variable or intelligent variable transmission, and we will talk about just how that performs when we get out and drive. And this one is also only front-wheel drive. Yes, it is a bit interesting to me that the GT line can be had in 2 engine flavors, but it really is an appearance package that gives a sporty appearance to an already good-looking vehicle. They have been talking a lot about the design of the K4 and how striking it is. It's using the newest iteration of Kia's Opposites United design language with that tiger nose grille. And now we have that star map lighting that we are seeing across the lineup in practically everything except for the very popular Telluride that people have very strong feelings about. And I wonder just when this star map lighting will find it to the Telluride. But you can see this GT line with the premium package doesn't have the premium headlights, but we still get all LED units up here. It is a very nice overall look. And this morning mist paint is very popular right now. We see it in a lot of vehicles, including a vehicle you might cross-shop this against in the very popular Chevy Trax. Kia said there are only 8 vehicles on sale for the 2024-2025 model year that come in at under $22,000. That Chevy Trax being one of them. This Kia in its base EX trim is another, even if it is only by $100. Otherwise, it is a very cleaned up look that the brand is very proud of, and they say you're not going to want to look away. It is very striking and looks unlike anything else in the segment. It definitely sets itself apart. And another thing I will say about those star map lights is it really emphasizes just how wide the vehicle is. It has the largest footprint in the segment. Comparing it to Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla, they really are shooting upmarket, trying to sway people maybe even away from Toyota Camry, because the sedan segment isn't particularly large. They say it makes up about 18% of the total vehicle market. As we come to our GT line non-turbo, you can see we get these 18-inch wheels. They are a very unique design. I really like what Kia has done with their wheel designs over the years, but since these are not all black, that is one telltale sign of the turbo model. As we pull around to the profile of it, it has a very fastback-like look to it. It really does look like it should be a hatchback, but it is not. It does have a conventional trunk. They have also hidden that rear door handle in the black area just behind the window there, adding to the overall sleekness and coupe-like persona of the K4. It is a very cool look, and I'm very interested in your thoughts as to this entire area right here. A lot of stuff is going on in the design with the roof, the rear window, the side windows, a lot of lines converging into that one area, but it does add to that very sleek, fastback-like look. As we pull around to the back of the vehicle, just like up front, we have that star map lighting, though you can see we have incandescent brake lights and turn signals. I do like how Kia has not hidden them down low. They've been notorious for putting their turn signals down very low. They are in the more traditional space here. No visible exhaust, but you can see it if you look down behind the bumper right there. No cutouts in the bumper or anything like that. You can see we have that one center mounted reverse light. Very cleaned up look back here with that continuation of the star map lighting. As we pop the trunk open there with the electronic release, you can see it is your typical sedan trunk, but I am just impressed with the amount of cargo space back here. If I remember correctly, they said it has 14 cubic feet of storage space in the trunk. And again, if I remember correctly, the Toyota Camry midsize sedan has right around 12. So this is absolutely a strong selling point amongst its competitors and the larger midsize class. I will put the official numbers on the screen, and then you can see we do have pulls here in the trunk and the trunk alone to fold the 60-40 split seat back. And that is pretty segment or sedan common in the class. It is not uncommon to have those, but you do have to reach pretty far in there to fold those seats down. I wish there was something in the cabin itself. You can see we do have a spare tire back here. It is a space-saving spare tire hidden under the false lid floor. And then something I really like that Kia does, so you don't have to get your car or your hands dirty, simply pull that down to close your trunk. Before I climb in this one, I do want to show you the key. Across the entire lineup, you have standard proximity key with remote start. So all K4s get remote start with their keys. It is a proximity key, so you can keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever you keep your key, and you can lock and unlock with the button there on the driver's door. Because of the unique placement of the rear door handles, that is not on the rear doors. Just thought I'd call that out. Before we climb in, I do want to show you the door. We have that nice contrasting cream and black in here that is unique to the GT line. I really like it. But they have moved the heated and ventilated seat buttons to the door right here. So you can see all of our heat and ventilation, and our two-person memory seat buttons are right here above the door handle. Then you get all your window controls right there, all your switchgear and electronics. You can see we have express up-down for the front windows, but not the back. We get a little bit of storage down here, which is to be expected. And we get a power driver seat with lumbar, but a fully manual passenger seat. These seats are very comfortable. Again, unique to the GT line. We get that embossed backrest there and the cream and black contrast. Also unique to the GT line is the steering wheel, this very unique 3-spoke steering wheel. You can see our drive mode button is right there, but our engine start button is all the way over here. So it is not hidden behind the steering wheel. You can see we get all our ADAS and entertainment controls here on the steering wheel itself. Over here we get brightness, electronic parking brake, traction control, but most of what you're going to be dealing with is right here. This one does have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, but the base models have a 4.3-inch center screen with a digital look exterior screen there. You can page through a lot of information right here. I can tell you in my 19 miles of driving this morning, I'm getting very close to the window stickers, 33 combined. I think I saw 32 before sitting here to film. I really do like this steering wheel. It's got a nice sporty design, and I already told you that drive mode button helps you toggle between sport and normal. We'll talk more about that when driving. Much like the Kia EV9, the award-winning Kia EV9, the HVAC control digital panel is right here. That is a little obscured by the steering wheel, but we do have redundant buttons for it right here. I love, love, love that they did not lean into the trend of most other Kia products with that toggle back and forth HVAC infotainment OLED screen here. I like this a whole lot better. I will put up with the fact that this is hidden back behind here over everything. This does and is the first Kia with built-in generative AI and natural communication. So if you want, you could say, "Hey Kia, I'm hot."
Adjusting the climate controls and air ventilation seat settings.
So that not only made the aircon come on, but it also turned my ventilated seat on high. So I really do like that, but I'm going to turn the fan speed down so it's not blaring here on camera. We still have some physical controls. I do like that. A physical volume roller here and a roller here. This one's a little bit out of reach, but I love that we still get a physical control. Very unique UI here that is customizable. Across the board. You can even download NBA skins over your infotainment, which I really like, but it is your typical Kia system once you get past the fact that this is the first vehicle with AI, which it can also do stuff like, "Hey Kia, help me find something fun to do with kids around here."
In Bee Cave, Texas, you can visit the Bee Cave Park, which has playgrounds and picnic areas. The Hill Country Galleria also offers family-friendly events and shopping. Would you like more information on any specific activity?
No, thank you. Now, Kia says all of this is done in the cloud, so if your vehicle does not have a connection to the internet, it is going to be interrupted. It also works a little slow, but still, that is very impressive and very conversational. You can even ask it to play 20 questions. So this really is a great family car for when somebody like Tucker, my son, is riding in the back seat and he's bored, wants to play a game, and we're wanting to keep him off of screen time. Another thing I noticed when I told the vehicle that I was hot, it turned the passenger ventilation on. So interesting that it doesn't know that there's not anyone riding over here to toggle in between that. But since it is a little noisy, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Other things in here, we have 4 USB-C ports in here. This one actually toggles between just power or wired interface with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is standard across the board. And this, like I said, has wireless, but I have opted not to since I'm recording on my phone. Start button right there, CVT right here. When you put it in reverse, that triggers the government mandated rear view camera, backup camera on this one. Top trims do get 360 camera with surround view monitoring and blind spot. Then coming down to the center console, we've got the adjustable storage slash cup holder area here, which either works for you or it doesn't. Center console is good for the class, no complaints right there. And then I did want to bring you to the window sticker because I said this one is $28,000 as equipped. And you can see the GT line starts at $25,190. So it is a very price competitive against the class and against the crossover, compact crossover segment and subcompact crossover segment that is so hot. And then there you can see our fuel economy numbers, which I'm seeing very similar returns on. Coming to me, I've got plenty of headroom in this one, though I do feel like I'm sitting up a little. And then I have a standard size, although it may be a little bit bigger. It is not a massive panoramic roof, but a nice big glass roof up above me with a power shade. All that is controlled with Kia's dual toggle switch here. So depending on how hard you pull it back, determines whether or not it's just the shade or the shade and the glass that opens. Not my favorite, but it works in a pinch. But you can see I've got plenty of room at 5'10", though taller drivers I do feel might have a slight problem in this one. You're just going to know for going and sitting in one yourself. But my seat is all the way down right now, so there is that. Now let's check out that rear space and the headroom back there. Coming to the back seat, I already showed you the very unique door handles, but the doors open up nice and wide. I am slightly concerned with the 6-year-old at home, just how far out these doors come when it comes to parking in a parking lot, and if he's going to swing these doors open too wide and hit the vehicle next to us. Window controls here, but not a lot else going on. We get that same contrasting seat design back here in the back, but no embossing. Go ahead and climb behind myself, and you can see I have plenty of legroom. Hard plastic seat backs, no map pocket here, but we do have a map pocket there. 2 more USB-C ports with a little bit of storage, but no air vents back here. So there are some shortcomings back here in the back, not a lot going on. But again, I am currently testing the 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid Touring, and that also does not get a lot on the back here. Interestingly enough, I've mentioned the engine powertrain several times. The only 2 options are gas-only options, no hybrid to rival that Civic that I am currently testing. Also back here in the back, we have a fold-down armrest that does not flop all the way to the seat bottom with 2 cup holders. That is very nice. Coming to me, that sloping fastback roof line, my hat is touching the roof. So much less space back here. I can slouch a little because of my extra legroom. I can get comfortable back here. It is a roomy back seat. I would say it's a little bit smaller than Camry, which they're trying to steal some share away from, given how many premium luxury features are here in this compact sedan class, which really does tell the story of what Kia is trying to do. They're trying to get the most of that 18% of the market that is still buying sedans, no matter what size they're looking at. Being a small car does not mean you have to sacrifice on features and amenities. Now, let's hop behind the wheel, see how fast this thing accelerates with the base engine, and just what it's like to drive around. Setting off in the 2025 Kia K4 GT line base engine. So I know what a lot of you are going to say, because I think it in the back of my head too. CVT. CVTs have gotten really good over the years. They ain't what they used to be. This ain't a cheap CVT. Kia historically has done intelligently variable transmissions very well, but yes, this does in fact have an CVT, IVT, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to see here, just on this straight little stretch of road, what it's like 0 to 60. I do have a little bump in the road probably before I get to the end of it, but we'll see. We'll rev it up and drop the brake. Makes a lot of noise. We're still going. 9.45. So, not super spectacular from an enthusiast standpoint for something with GT on the vehicle. It is a little insulting, GT being my brand initials, and being the moniker of sportiness and fun, that this GT line really is more of an appearance package than anything else. It really is just for looks. Though that 1.6 turbo, I'm very excited to test that. A future video will be coming out on that particular engine and powertrain. But I will say I've driven this one about 20 miles through the hill country of the Austin, Texas area so far. And in a normal commute, I'm gonna take it out of sport because it's really wanting to rev. In a normal commute, highway situation, merging in, exiting off, passing people, things like that, it has translated very nicely. I will say, yes, 9.45 is extremely slow. It is very slow by modern standards. But I will say, in reality, living with it, being in it in a real life scenario, it's not terrible. It is not awful. It is just okay. It has done everything that I've asked of it, and we'll just leave it at that. I won't beat the dead horse, though. Again, I'm very excited to get in that 1.6 liter turbocharged version with nearly 200 horsepower and 200 pound-feet of torque. So here we go, real life example, pulling out in front of traffic. It's a little droney, but it gets the job done. It's, again, done everything I've asked of it thus far. I haven't felt that I need more power. I just want more power, if that makes any sense. Otherwise, the ride on this, it is a very good ride. Again, kind of punching above its weight class, really set to compete against Camry versus something smaller like Corolla and Civic. This really wants to play in that mid-size segment, if you can't tell by the overall footprint of it. It's longer, it's wider, it's bigger than ever before, and while that didn't translate to a super roomy back seat, it's still made for a comfortable back seat for adults and is making for a very comfortable ride. Here in this one, we have that multi-link suspension in the back instead of a torsion beam, which you would typically see in something under $30,000 like this. So it is a premium suspension option that really has made driving this one around pleasant. And that really is my overall take on driving this GT Line premium package. Is it's pleasant. I have no major complaints. I have no major notes. I really do like what Kia is doing across the board. They really are taking the market by storm. They are making stalwarts like Toyota, like Honda look archaic and ancient. They have launched something very particular with this vehicle, going after the youthful market that they're trying to capture in buyers with this by partnering with TikTok to build a TikTok vehicle configurator. So not only can you go to Kia's website and build it, you can go to TikTok and build a Kia K4. So really pointing out who they are trying to capture as a potential buyer of the K4. They want a youthful, tech-forward mindset. Speaking of that tech forward, I mentioned and showed off the AI voice assist. I do have a few small complaints with it. You can see I am using Apple CarPlay right now with Google Maps to follow the supplied drive route that they gave us so that I can stop and see the things they want us to see on the road. But if I am on a family vacation, I'm going to want to use my navigation of choice, which uses Apple CarPlay. The problem is when you trigger that AI voice assistant, well, you'll see, hey Kia, let's play 20 questions.
Great choice.
So you can see, not only does she take a little while to respond and interact, but it also takes me off of my CarPlay screen and takes me back to the built-in Kia screen, which is not my favorite. I assume that if you're using the built-in navigation within Kia's system, that it won't be a problem. But if you are a heavy CarPlay Android Auto user, it is a slight problem that it completely wipes everything off of your current screen invisibility and takes you to that AI screen, that it doesn't just overlay the AI over CarPlay. Small critiques, but it's a first iteration. This is the first vehicle with that AI assistant. I would like to see it maybe even move to my center screen here, because I don't need to see my fuel economy all the time, always. There are other ways that they can do it, but still, nice first effort, first attempt. Huge kudos to Kia for trying something and being bold. Also, trying something, being bold, being different. They have a huge partnership with the NBA, and you can, through the Kia Connected store, buy NBA colored skins to put over all your infotainment stuff, which I don't know if I love or hate it. I like options. I like that that is available, though not being an NBA person myself, I'd like to see them partner with other sports associations or allow me to go in and configure my own skin, kind of like I did with Winamp Player way back in the early 2000s. Let me make my own skins, build a API, and let me go to town. That'd be really cool. Other notes from living with this one for the short speed date that I am getting to do today in this Kia K4. I'm impressed with what you get for under 28 or right at $28,000. When it comes to other vehicles in that price range, the only other one that excites me quite as much as this one is the Chevy Trax I mentioned in the intro. You really load that one out at right at $27,000, and it doesn't have quite the same powertrain and options that this one does. The Trax does have a traditional 6-speed automatic versus the CVT here, but it has a 3-cylinder engine. And my number one complaint on all my Trax videos is how long is that 3-cylinder gonna last? This 2-liter 4-cylinder has been around with Kia for a while, and they really have improved their reliability scores over the recent years, so I don't think that is going to be a huge problem either. As I am now winding down some canyon roads and having some fun here in the hill country, I can say the overall driving dynamics is a very good selling point of this one. It's very comfortable, very calm, very compliant. If you buy one of these, I think you will be very happy. But if you want to see, like I do, what that GT Line Turbo is like with the 1.6 Turbo 4, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, in the kind of slow 9.45 seconds to 60 Kia K4 GT Line base model, base engine, one last 0 to 60 now that I've been in the car for a little bit of time. A little bit of a hump in the road, but we'll go ahead, put it in sport mode, brake torque it just a little bit, drop the brake, and we go. A little bit of noise, CVT, we're going. Now we're gonna start going downhill, so it should help the number. Yeah, 8.95, so that's quite a shaving off of my first 9.45 second 0 to 60 run, but still nothing spectacular. I assume the turbo engine will change my opinions and my thoughts on this platform as a performance vehicle when I test it later today and in a future video. Until next time, gearheads, bye. So I'm doing something a little bit different here. I'm cutting away to the audio on this built-in GoPro here up front to show you just what the noise in here is like, because I talked a lot about improving noise, vibration, and harshness, and it's a little noisy on the road for something that they went on and on about, including having sound isolating tires from Khumo here in this one. It's not loud. I've been in louder, for sure, but it is loud for something that they have touted its quietness so much, which makes me wonder how this shape, this overall platform, would do on the base trims that don't come with those fancy tires.